Hi Aries, welcome to your reading. I do hope that you Aries are doing fabulously. I feel like some of you Aries may have been kind of suffering from a little bit of aches and pains or otherwise, mental health issues, I want to say. Some of you in general, like health-wise, you guys have been kind of suffering a little bit, and so I do feel like that has a lot to do with stress. It has a lot to do with your patterns of thinking, your habits, and so I do hope that this reading will kind of shed some light on that and hopefully help you. So the first card, Aries, is going to be indicating the overall energies at play for you guys for the rest of August. And we have the Hanged Man in the reverse position. Okay, so major arcana card right off the bat. This is kind of heavy energy, I guess. When the Hanged Man comes reverse, the man is upright. Because when he's upright, the Hanged Man is like hanging upside down. It's a very confusing card to look at sometimes because or even if you saw someone hanging like this in real life, it's a very odd card. And most tarot decks depict this Hanged Man in the same way. Somebody kind of suspended upside down, alone, and there's a stillness to this card, and you can see that the Hanged Man is not panicked. He's not freaking out. It's like he's been here in a state of suspension, in kind of a limbo state of mind for quite some time. There's definitely a sense of, being in it for the long haul, and there's no panic anymore. It's just a state of acceptance for this person. And so the Hanged Man to me represents sacrifice. It represents waiting for something. It's like you guys are hanging back. You guys are just kind of waiting for the storm to pass, or waiting for, some negative situation to resolve itself. And there is a sense, again, of sacrifice in this card. So it's like you guys may be suffering in some way, mental, physical, or emotional. You guys are kind of waiting for that pain to pass. And especially when this Hanged Man comes reverse, it's like you guys have been suffering for way too long. You guys have been holding something in, and it's really eating away at you, at your insides and at your heart. And it's almost like you guys are getting to that point where you can't wait any longer. You guys have been holding on. This Hanged Man is literally about, holding on to something so tight that, it's getting to a point where your whole life around you stops. It stands still, and that's the only thing that you can do. You focus on holding on to this one thing. And so, a most obvious interpretation is a love. This could be some relationship that you need to let go of. Someone from your past, or someone who is in your current, who's your current lover or intimate partner or whatever, and you're holding on to something that is fleeting, something that needs to be let go of. So while there is sacrifice, and sacrifice is noble, sometimes you can sacrifice too much. You can sacrifice your own happiness and sacrifice your own self-worth and your own value, and sacrifice your whole life for something that needs to just be put in the past, something that needs to just be left alone. For some of you, Aries, it's not that serious. This Hanged Man in reverse could indicate that, maybe you've been waiting on something and finally it comes. This Hanged Man is like you guys have been waiting around for a decision to be made, possibly for someone to get out of a relationship, to end a relationship. Maybe some of you have been waiting, you yourself, to, finally get out of a relationship or divorce somebody, or you've been waiting for somebody else to finally break ties with somebody, and now those ties have been cut. now a decision has been made. So it's like you guys have been waiting. This could even be like with school, like you guys have been on the wait list, or you guys have been trying to get into a school for so long and you've been waiting. Your whole life has kind of been revolving around this, and finally you got that call, you're in or you're out. But one way or another, that decision, that answer is coming. Whatever you've been waiting for, you're not going to be waiting anymore. So it's either going to be a gentle cut and you can return back down to earth, or it's going to be like a sudden, like, you know, back to reality check. Either way, whatever you're waiting for, whatever you're holding on to, it's going to be released. And I do feel like it's going to allow you to then move on and to, you know, look at the bigger picture. This Hanged Man to me is also about gaining a different perspective. But when it comes reverse, it's almost like you guys have been so outside the norm, thinking so outside the box, and you've kind of detached a little bit from regular, I want to say, thinking. You guys have just made up your own set of rules, applied your own set of logic, and it's kind of a bit detached. It's like you guys are overreaching. You guys are holding on to something, and you've created a whole different narrative, a whole different story for it, and it's not necessarily reflective of what's really going on in the real world. So it's just time to let go. Alright, Aries, something that you guys may be missing and something that you should take a note of is this Nine of Swords. Okay, so this is a card of extreme mental anguish. This is like your doubts and your fears multiplying in your head. I do feel like these birds at this point, especially with this Hanged Man in reverse, it's like you guys have been ruminating. You guys, all your thoughts, all your deepest, darkest fears have been, you know, mulling over in your head, and they've been growing. It's like, you know, there was a certain point when the cut was fresh, and your fears and your, you know, doubts and your negative feelings, they were tiny little babies. They were little tiny kittens, and now they're full-grown lions. They're monsters now. They're huge because you've been just, you know, off again in your own world, holding on to something that you need to let go of, and you've been kind of off, you know, in an alternate reality almost. I know this sounds kind of harsh, but this is just the energy that I'm picking up on, and this is what I'm guided to say. I feel like you've been kind of stuck in your own head, and now there are full-blown, you know, phobias and full-blown delusions, and there's just a lot of negativity that needs to be, you know, eliminated, that needs to be let go of and just pushed aside. There's no place for that in your life anymore. It's time for you to let go. It's time for you to clear your head, and even just if you want to cleanse yourself, just, I feel like a lot of you Aries have really muddy, sticky auras right now, and you need to just do a cleanse. You need to just you know, drop everything, drop all the negativity, just put it aside and walk towards something better, something positive. I feel like definitely it's time for you guys to just get out of your head and to do something that kind of brings you back to life, breathes some life back into you. I feel like you guys need to refresh yourselves and to be reminded of who you are. You need to be reminded of what it's like to be on the good side of things. You know, I feel like you guys have been kind of hiding out in a cave for too long. You guys need to get on the good side. You guys need to be reminded of what it was like before all this sacrifice, before all this pain and hurt. So I do feel like there's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of pain that you guys are holding on to, and you need to just let that go, please. I feel like you guys are, you know, isolating yourselves a little bit and retreating into your own mind, into your own safe space, safe haven, but I feel like you guys are numb now to just how twisted your mind and your, you know, your reasoning is. And this is not for all you Aries, so if this does not resonate with you at all, then just disregard this. But for some of you Aries, I do feel like you need to hear this message. It's time to turn things around, and it's time to finally just let go. It's getting a bit out of control. You're sacrificing too much, and I feel like what you do want to hold on to is yourself. You don't want to hold on to somebody else or these negative thoughts and memories. You want to be retaining who you truly are, and working on nurturing them, instead of, inadvertently or indirectly, whether you intend to or not, you guys are really nurturing the negative. And I feel like you guys need to step aside and let that go, and work on nurturing your own self and healing. Work on healing instead of holding on to that pain. So general advice for you, Aries, is the Four of Swords. So another Swords card here, and Swords has to do with your thoughts. This is air energy, and this is like that ability to organize things in your head, and that ability to clarify your thoughts and your feelings. And this is, I feel like, in relation to how you interpret your role with other people. So going back to the relationship theme here, I do feel like, some of you are really trying to get closure, really trying to process things, really trying to justify things, motives, maybe what the other person's intentions are, what your intentions were, and you guys are, again, just holding on to something that you just need to let go of. This Four of Swords is a card of stability, and as general advice, I feel like you guys need to get back on your own 2 feet. You guys need to escape in a healthy way, escape your mind, and escape that thinking that is holding you back, that is centered around your pain. This Four of Swords is recuperation. This Four of Swords is revitalizing. It's recharging your batteries. And it's like the battle is done. You can see here what seems to be blood, but there are rose petals and there's swords kind of on the snow. And it's like this woman is mourning. She's gone through a lot, but she knows that there's more to come. There's more ahead. She does have still a sword in her hand, so it's like the battle is not fully over. But in order for you to be strong enough and to be a contender for the rest of what's to come, you need to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, and that you are clearing your mind, making sure that you're taking care of your energies, again, cleansing your auras, clearing that, even not literally if you guys aren't into that, but I mean, just letting go of pain, letting go of hurt. This is very strongly indicated here. You guys are holding on, and you guys are not making it easier for yourself. I feel like you guys are stuck in this pattern of negativity, and you guys are so comfortable in it that you don't want anything new, you don't want anything different. But it's not a good place to be, and it's only going to bring you further and further down. Yes, you've been through a lot, and it's not fair. You've had to sacrifice so much, and that has definitely had an effect on your mind, and an effect on your ability to trust, and your ability to open up, your ability to even just experience the basic simple things in life have been tainted, have been affected, have been, in your mind, destroyed. Your ability to feel and to think like a normal human being, I feel like you guys feel like that has gone out the window. There's no chance for you anymore. But this Four of Swords is a reminder that no matter what has happened, in your last battle, you can recover. If you've made it out alive, you've made it out stronger. And there's no point of you going back and reliving the trauma. Stop trying to relive the pain. Let it go. There are other things to come. Life is so vast. Life is practically infinite, and there's so much that you haven't seen, heard, explored, so much that you don't know. So stop being arrogant to think that, you know, this is what is for you. Stop trying to force the situation. Let go and heal. So the outcome card, Aries, is the Page of Swords. More swords energy. You guys are fighters. You guys are like fighting a battle in your own mind. You guys are really being hard on yourselves. You guys are not really letting yourself have a chance at happiness. You guys are really just using logic against you. As the outcome card, this Page of Swords is very aggressive but also assertive energy. So perfect for you, Aries. You guys are the leaders of the zodiac. You guys like to take charge. You guys like to, you know, take action. This is what this Page of Swords is all about. But this Page of Swords is also very young energy. You don't have to be young in age to be young at heart, and to, you know, keep yourself refreshed, keep yourself sharp, keep your wits about you. I feel like this is very good. This is a very good progression. You have this Four of Swords that is like, okay, I need to just take a moment to, you know, regain my composure, to pick myself up a little bit, and to you know, make sure I'm good. And then you have this Page of Swords, which is like, okay, I'm ready for battle. I'm ready. So yes, you guys have been through a lot. You guys have kind of been reliving that pain and that trauma. But now, as general advice, hopefully you guys are recouping. You guys are recovering. You guys are mourning the losses, then letting them go. And then you guys are preparing yourselves for what's to come. And I don't mean that, you know, your whole life is going to be just a constant battle. That's not what I'm saying. But right now, the major themes at play in your life are ones of your mind, and whether or not your thoughts are going to be your best friend or your worst enemy. And I do feel like if you can just accept the past and forget about the past, let it go, you'll be more prepared for your future, and you'll be more excited about it too. You have, you know, a great mind. You have a good head on your shoulders. But I do feel like sometimes all that brain power can get you into trouble, and you can kind of justify your pain, justify you holding on to something that you need to let go of. So I do feel like it's going to be a journey of healing, and this possibly extends, you know, into the rest of the year, and it's not going to be easy for you guys, but I do feel like you guys are fighters. You guys are Aries. You guys can get through it. You just have to stop reliving the pain, and the faster you let go, the happier you'll be. The faster you let go, the faster you'll be on your way to completely forgetting about it. It's almost like, you know, when you guys are sick and you're like, I can't even imagine what it's like to not be sick, or like, you know, to have a runny nose, or to have those allergies. Like, I can't even imagine what my life was like without it, with, you know, when I was healthy. But then, you know, eventually, and you go through all the suffering, you know, and you're like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. And it's so real because it's there, and it's present, and it's hard for you guys to just ignore that. But then once it finally disappears, it goes away, you don't even remember what it's like to feel sick anymore. You don't remember what it's like to be like that. And that's where I feel like your mind needs to be. You need to go through that healing so that you can just, you know, all of a sudden be like, oh, I don't even remember what I was stressing about. I don't even remember why I was so upset, why I was in so much pain. And I hope that you guys get to that point where you guys are just feeling so good that you can't even imagine what your life was like when you were in pain.